items are in the back. Most of us know that already. And again, on your table is the program with a QR code for submission of questions anytime during our wonderful evening together. We want to acknowledge our VIPs, but first of all, Hafaday, Piro, and welcome to the MVA biannual membership meeting. An exciting night tonight. Nice to see all of you. You are all VIPs, but I'm only going to mention a few. Starting with our House Speaker, Edmund Villagomez. Thank you, Speaker, for coming. We may have some others join us later on. We also want to acknowledge the members of our Board of Directors who are here with us tonight. Secretary Joe Guerrero, Director Sachiko Gerard, and Director Dennis Yo. Thank you, and also Japan Council Akiko Tejima. And I'm sure more are on their way, but we also want to acknowledge our cabinet members that are here tonight. Of course, you, our MVA members, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have a full agenda ahead of us tonight. And so with no further ado, I believe we're ready. Let us welcome our MVA Managing Director, Jamaica Terron, for her welcoming remarks and updates. Please welcome her.
Hapade, Terawami, and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Marianas Visitors Authority, it's truly a pleasure to have you all here tonight. And we welcome our industry partners, our government leaders, business community, and our friends to today's general membership meeting. It's not often that we gather everyone in one room, and it's great to see familiar faces and new faces alike, all that who share our common goal to strengthen and sustain tourism in the Marianas. Tourism is our only industry. It is our shared livelihood, and each of us play a role in shaping the experiences that bring visitors to our islands and keep them coming back. From the airlines that connect us to the world, to the hotels, tour operators, small businesses, and government agencies that keep our destination running, this is a shared effort, and today is about connection, collaboration, and collective action. Over the past year, we've engaged core markets, fought to stabilize air service, elevated events, and invested in destination enhancement. But we know there's still so much work to be done. The global tourism landscape is constantly changing, and our success depends on how well we adapt, innovate, and support one another. Today's agenda reflects that spirit, because when we work together with unity of purpose and clarity of vision, together we can accomplish anything for our islands. Thank you for being here and for believing in the Marianas. And with that, here's how tonight will flow. With the theme Stronger Together, Rebuilding, Rebranding, and Reimagining Tourism in the Marianas, tonight we'll take a look at where we stand and where we're headed. We'll share an overview of our current tourism landscape, the past year, followed by updates from our key markets, China, Japan, and Korea. The highlight of the evening will be the unveiling of our new global brand for the Marianas, followed by a look at exciting new tourism products and partnerships our team has been developing. We'll wrap up with short Q&A before dinner, and if you're feeling competitive tonight, please pay close attention because we will have a Kahoot quiz after the branding presentation, and 3 winners will win a great prize. So let's look out for that. To start, let's take a quick overview of visitor arrivals since we started keeping records of this in 1978. I'm sure you've seen this chart before, but I like using it because it gives us a clear picture of our visitor potential, and it helps us understand how global factors impact us deeply and immediately. 1997 was our highest visitor arrivals. The Asian economic crisis, 9/11, SARS, the exit of Japan, and other global factors brought our visitor arrivals down to over half. As we started to engage with new markets, develop tourism products, and gain traction, we came close again to reaching our peak in 2017, right before Delta pulled out and Typhoon Yutu devastated our islands in 2018, followed by COVID in 2020. And here we are today at 160,000 visitor arrivals in FY25. We have not seen figures this low since the 80s. Zooming into more recent years, we saw year-over-year growth from 2021 to 2024, where we ended the year at 237,000 visitors. Just as we were making steady recovery from the pandemic, in 2025, we were hit with a multitude of factors that affected air service, consumer demand, and travel trade. We all know that air service is key to the sustainability of our visitor industry, but the past 18 months have been especially challenging for our airline partners. From policy changes and currency fluctuations to unforeseen tragedies and government mandates, every one of our key markets has faced disruptions. In Korea, Asiana's exit in June 2024, pending its merger with Korean Air, has led to immediate loss of seat capacity. The Jeju Air tragedy in December further disrupted the market, resulting in flight suspensions and route reductions through mid-2025. Then, T-Way's acquisition in February shifted focus to other destinations, further resulting in flight reductions. Combined with the ongoing market shifts of Korean Air and Asiana Air merger, these changes have left air service unstable and uncertain in the short term. From Hong Kong, things were promising after the Hong Kong Airlines inaugural flight in April 2024. But when the EVS TAP was suddenly suspended in April this year, flights were canceled. It wasn't until July that the EVS TAP processing resumed, and thereafter, flights resumed in September, setting us back nearly 6 months. Japan has remained a steady market, supported by United Airlines. While the schedule change in May temporarily affected demand, the preferred flight schedule was reinstated in October, and now we're working to regain momentum with a more favorable timing. Despite these challenges, we're grateful for the continued commitment of Jeju, T-Way, Hong Kong Airlines, and United. Today, we have 1 to 2 flights daily from Seoul via Jeju Air and T-Way. There are flights daily from Guam via United Airlines. United Airlines also provides 3 flights a week from from Tokyo, and Hong Kong Airlines provides 2 flights per week direct from Hong Kong. Based on the current flight schedule as announced from our airline partners, we are projecting 193,000 air seats for FY 2026. This is a decrease of 25% compared to 259,000 air seats last year, which was already a decrease of 66% compared to the air seats we had in 2018. With 25% reduction of air seats, we can already anticipate a 25% decrease in visitor arrivals, if not worse. Keep in mind that these projections could change if flights are added or suspended. And based on the changes in air seats, we saw a huge shift in market share in 2025 compared to 2018. While we once had a balanced mix of visitors from Korea and China, and a small market from Japan and other countries, we have shifted our market share, relying on Korea for nearly 70% of our visitors, while the other markets make up 30%. And let's talk about budget for a moment. Now more than ever, it's critical that we have the funding to market our destination, support air service, and help our industry partners and small businesses stay afloat during these challenging times. As we work to rebuild and reach our targets, the MVA continues to face budget limitations that make it difficult to fully carry out our mission. This year, we're operating on a $3.8 million budget. based on anticipated collections from the hotel occupancy tax. Naturally, this greatly impacts our marketing efforts. Less marketing means fewer visitors. Fewer visitors mean less flights, and fewer flights mean less tourism and overall economic activity. Still, despite these challenges, the MVA and our partners, all of you here today, continue to move forward, finding creative and resourceful ways to keep promoting the Marianas. Standing here today, sharing some of these difficult truths about the tourism situation is not easy, and I won't sugarcoat it. But as our theme reminds us, building a stronger Marianas means rebuilding, rebranding, and reimagining tourism for the future. Over the past 6 months, we've invested in laying the foundation for a brand that can carry us into the next 20 years and beyond. This new identity is something we can all build upon, our residents, our businesses, and our visitors together. Unified under one strong and authentic Marianas brand, our focus in FY26 is to enhance the visitor experience by strengthening the quality, accessibility, and cultural authenticity of on-island offerings. To drive sustainable visitor demand through strategic partnership, diversified source markets, and targeted digital marketing campaigns. And to strengthen stakeholder alignment and industry resilience by fostering unified, cross-sector collaboration that supports long-term growth and sustainability. Through these efforts, we will develop new tourism products, boost demand, and renew investor confidence in the Marianas. We're truly excited to unveil this brand soon, but before we get there, let's take a look at how our markets are performing and some key highlights. Let's welcome Ms. Judy Torres, Deputy Managing Director, who will present updates from the China and Hong Kong market.
Thank you, MV. Before diving into the marketing activities that we conducted in Hong Kong and China, let's take a look first at the market performance from these markets. I know Jamaica did cover this briefly, but this is a recap. As one of the items in our program, we're going to have a quiz, so I'm giving you guys a chance to get ready for the quiz. In fiscal year 2025, arrivals from Hong Kong and China were among our top performing markets. However, the suspension of the MVA STAT program in April affected this market significantly, leading to the suspension of direct flights from Hong Kong. Fortunately, the airline resumed service in September following the reinstatement of the program. Currently, the Hong Kong and China market accounts for 7% of total visitor arrivals to the Marianas. Most visitors from this region arrive via Hong Kong Airlines, followed by Jeju Air and T-Way Airlines. Since Hong Kong Airlines operates on a charter flights basis through Century Tours and LT Travel, we partner with these two companies on joint promotional campaigns to strengthen visibility and drive demand for the Marianas. Here are some of the marketing efforts we implemented for this market. Hong Kong City Bus Campaign. In March and April, we launched a 21-day campaign utilizing 36 buses running along 2 major routes across Hong Kong. The buses feature both exterior racks and seatback ads promoting the Marianas and our direct flights, reaching an estimated 9 million residents and visitors across the city. We partnered with one of China's leading lifestyle publication, Modern Weekly, bringing a film crew to the Marianas to capture our Chamorro and Carolinian culture and the natural beauty. This campaign featured one of the river canoes on the magazine cover with 1 million copies distributed and achieved over 5,000 video views and 1,000 online engagements. As part of the campaign, celebrity ambassador actor Zheng Yecheng was named the Marianas Wellness Ambassador. His travel vlog trended hot on Weibo, gaining over 5 million impressions, 1 million reactions, and more than 60 media articles featuring the Marianas. We hosted a fan meeting event in the Marianas for fans of Chinese actor Albert Chow. The campaign was featured in 5 online news outlets, while 8 social media posts generated over 2,000 likes and 2 event videos reaching 35,000 views. Between February and April, we also worked with several key opinion leaders, leveraging their combined fan bases to promote travel to the Marianas and inspire consumer bookings. We partnered with Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation and Alipay to stimulate demand and encourage bookings. We supported multiple campaigns with both of these corporations, featuring limited time promotions and special travel incentive for the Hong Kong and the China consumers. Looking ahead, we plan to continue collaborating with our industry partners to strengthen destination visibility in Hong Kong and China and enhance the visitor experience. Our goal is to increase flight service from 2 times weekly to 4 times weekly and to support the resumption of direct flights from mainland China. Now to cover our Japan market, our marketing manager, Thomas Kim, will make that presentation.
Thank you, Judy. So now turning to our Japan market. Last year, we boosted the Marianas' visibility through TV, social media, and offline promotions. Our collaboration with influencer Urian Retriever reached over 2 million views. Urian Retriever is a popular Japanese comedian and actress known for both physical comedy, and memorable characters with over 1 million Instagram followers. In addition, videos featuring Japanese celebrity food fighters Sachio Masabuchi and Max Suzuki at the Taste of the Marianas event have already gained over 600,000 plays. We have also hosted a few TV shows and gained new news media coverage reaching the mass audience, partnering with major broadcasting TV companies such as Nippon Television. We have launched our Marianas Revival Project in March at our Marianas Seminar in Tokyo. The seminar was attended by 59 travel agents, media, and other representatives, and highlighted the long-standing ties between Japan and the Marianas. In August, we hosted the JTB MVA Tourism Business Development Conference in Saipan to explore new product opportunities and strengthen collaboration. It was a productive session, and JTB is now developing new travel products to the Marianas. More updates on this will be shared in the near future. Through our partnership with the Marianas Revival Project, 10 Hiroshima Prefecture Assembly members and 13 business leaders visited Saipan and Tinian to explore investment and partnership opportunities. The visit strengthened ties with Hiroshima, leading to MVA's participation in the Hiroshima Flower Festival and a CNMI delegation's attendance at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Ceremony in August. The Marianas Club, launched with Beams Creative, the trendiest lifestyle and fashion company in Japan, offers visitors a personalized guide to local favorites, from restaurants and shops to scenic and historical sites. Earlier this year, 16 Beam staff and friends visited Saipan and Tinian, creating over 500 posts for their 1.9 million Instagram followers, reaching 2 million views and over 48,000 likes. Some of you may remember our earlier collaboration with Japanese music group Doberman Infinity, who created a song for the Marianas. We've now reappointed member Sway as the Marianas Tourism Ambassador. His latest video, Matane, filmed in Saipan, was released last month. As a result of these activities, we saw a 74% increase in first-time visitors from Japan and 34% increase of repeaters, marking an increased awareness and demand of our destination. Our Japan strategy next year focuses on maintaining our strong mid-senior market while expanding among young travelers. We also see strong potential to revive the golfer and diver segments, both scuba and skin divers. To support this goal, we recruited several diving ambassadors with a combined 1 million followers at the Asia Dive Expo Japan. Together, we'll promote long stays in the Marianas, highlighting diving across Saipan, Tinian, and Roa, along with our food, culture, sailing traditions, stargazing, history, hiking, and most importantly, our wonderful people. We'll continue to strengthen our collaboration with Beams Creative, a trusted brand among younger audiences, through a new website and giveaway campaigns. We'll also work with their sports club to promote the Marianas for marathons, golf, and other sporting events. We'll build on last year's Run Live feature, Japan's largest running site, to promote Saipan Marathon 2026. Marianas Ambassador Sway will also join the event and host a signature Sway Factory t-shirt to showcase the Marianas. We're expanding into new markets with events like the upcoming Sugar Cane Train Journey Run on January 17, held with NPO Sports Aid Japan, an 81-kilometer run tracing Saipan's historic railway to honor the 150th birthday of Sugar King Haruji Matsuri. We're also exploring new ways to elevate the Taste of the Marianas event through tours, Japan preliminaries, and TV collaborations. Retired but still beloved, Chisato Moritaka will visit Saipan to shoot photos for her upcoming calendar. She famously mentions Saipan in her 1992 hit song and continues to have a strong following audiences in their 40s and up. Her visit will bring valuable PR and magazine exposure for the Marianas. We'll continue to grow our reach among young travelers through new programs, influencer partnerships, and targeted advertising to amplify our impact. We're working with JTB and other travel partners to create unique tours that promote inter-island travel and connect visitors with the roots, culture, and spirit of the Marianas. So now I'll hand the mic over to Mr. Jamie Kim, the Managing Director of the MVA Korea office. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you, Thomas. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Kim. I'm Managing Director of MVA Korea. It's a great honor to be here to share our plan with you today, and thank you for taking the time to join us. Let me begin with the current market situation in Korea. The Korea travel market has become increasingly competitive and complex in recent years. Demand for island and resort destinations remains strong. However, the factors such as a strong US dollar against the Korean won, airlines' profitability challenges, and in particular, the regulatory environment surrounding the Korean Air, Asian Airlines merger have significantly impacted the market, resulting in a huge decrease in seat capacity on the Saipan route. The Korean government, through the Fair Trade Commission, has been involved in the management of airline routes, particularly those between Korea and Guam. MVA, together with the Mariana governments, in working to address this issue through active engagement with the Korean authorities. Currently, the Incheon, Saipan route is operated by Jeju Air and TL Airways, with 1 to 3 daily flights depending on the season. Under these conditions, our key mission for FY26 is clear: to strengthen consumer demand in the Korean market. Our focus is to maintain the air seat and increase Korean travelers' desire to choose the Mariana service. Despite the challenging environment, MVA Korea achieved meaningful outcomes last fiscal year. The online core marketing and seasonal charter operation from Seoul and Busan, and the Mariana Ambassador campaign celebrated UE for marathon and KLPJ Golf for BK Park for golf travel market. Successfully, we held the Mariana Day event in Seoul with over 200 industry partners, media, and influencers. The broadcast and digital content production with KBS, ENA, and YouTube creators. Particularly 230 Korean learners joined the 2025 Saipan Marathon, accounting for 35% of total learners. I would like to share the highlighted video clip of 2025.
Welcome to Saipan.
Although our market is going through a difficult period right now, we did not stop and keep going to promote our islands. Even in a difficult climate, we maintained presence and kept the Marianas relevant in the Korea market. Now let's take a brief look at key consumer trends shaping Korean travelers. First, sports-driven travel has grown significantly. Strong fan culture in soccer and baseball has led to more overseas travel to watch games. The travel agencies are now offering watch tour sports travel products. Second, learning culture is booming. Korea has nearly 10 million learners, 20% out of total population, and more than 400 learning events annually. This trend connects directly to overseas marathon and long trip travel. And third, interest in wellness and healthy rest continues to grow. Travelers seek recovery, not just sightseeing, enjoying nature, light activity, healthy dining, and slower experiences. Lastly, travel decisions are strongly influenced by micro-influencers and live commerce. Instead of huge celebrities campaign, consumers trust smaller, relatable creators and buy immediately after watching content. These trends align very naturally with the Marianas, a place where travel can move, breathe, explore, and enjoy natural beauty. In FY26, we have a core message, far from ordinary. This is the Marianas. The Mariana is not just a beautiful beach destination. It is a place where people can step away from the noise of daily life, slow down, and truly last. We will highlight emotional value, comfort, and ease of travel. Marketing effectiveness ultimately depends on having sufficient seat capacity. We will strengthen partnership with existing airlines continue co-op campaigns and explore seasonal charters and new airline opportunities. We will position the Mariana as a destination where wellness and activity coexist. Expand marketing for the Saipan Marathon, collaborate with learning crew and sports influencers. Develop premium golf contents and events with the golfer BK Park. And today's travelers choose destinations they can picture themselves in from the very first glance. So we will focus on authentic travel experience storytelling, activation across Instagram, KakaoTalk, Naver blog, and short-form platform. High impact visual that make travel feels. So I want to be there, that could be my day. So Korean consumers often connect destination through the lifestyle brands they use every day. So we will collaborate with K-cosmetic brands, wellness and lifestyle brands, hotels, cafe, and F&B brand as well, to bring the Marianas into every consumer touch points. Travel becomes real when it is experienced. So we will participate in Nonable Marathon Fair in January and join the Seoul International Book Fair in June next year. And we promote signature local festivals such as Hell of the Marianas, Taste of the Marianas, and other island-wide cultural events. This creates a seamless path for offline experience to travel inspiration to actual booking. And we will continue to maintain our corporate incentive programs while actively working to attract more corporate and business travel groups. We will also strengthen our ongoing partnership with the key package travel agents who bring our core travelers to the Marianas, ensuring that even more visitors choose our islands. In conclusion, our goal for FY26 are driving sustainable demand and securing stable air supply. Though Marianas is more than just a travel destination, it is a place where the mind rests, taste slows, and people feel renewed. We look forward to working closely with all our partners to bring the Marianas closer to Korean travelers in a deeper and more meaningful way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie. By the way, I love that shirt. I need to get me one of those. Okay, up next, the moment we have all been waiting for. Ever since the beginning of Marianas tourism in the 1950s or whenever it was, our first global brand launch. And here to help us do that are representatives of the award-winning Australian B Corp certified creative agency Circle 8. I was asked to stand over there while they do this. We ready? No. Okay, so see, I even came with filler. What is a B Corp certified creative agency? It's awarded to companies that meet high standards of social and environmental performance, accountability, and transparency. But enough about them. We want to talk about us. Please welcome founder and managing director, Alana Stocks, and creative strategy partner, Phil Watson.
Thank you, Kat. Happy day and Tiro. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We are so privileged to work on this project. We're so privileged to work on this project, and we're really excited to present the Mariana's new global brand to you this evening. We've been working on this project tirelessly for 6 months, and this is the accumulation of our work. So tonight we'll be taking you through the insights and brand strategy that led to the new creative platform, the brand identity, and the creative campaign. First, some introductions. I'm Alana, the MD and founder of Circulate, the creative agency behind all this work. And I'll be speaking with you, and you'll also hear from Phil our creative strategy partner, Chris Flynn on global tourism trends, and Carolyn Childs on audience and market research. I also want to acknowledge all the local people and industry partners whose input has actually been integral to developing this project. It was very important from the outset that this brand could represent the community by being built from within. So these are foundational insights that provide the rigour behind our process. First, let's hear from some local industry voices. I think some of you might even be here tonight. Sound? Sound?
Very, how do you say, untouched in many ways, and it's waiting to be explored.
For me, it's always been our people, the kindness, the generosity of both the indigenous Chamorros and our NMDs, our followers, our Carolinians.
I like to think that when people look at the Marianas, they see it as a remote paradise destination for them to get away and explore themselves or relax, find that peace and quiet, get away from maybe the bustling cities that they're used to.
This year has been really kind of neat because we've been having a lot of guests from the U.S. and a lot of guests from Europe. And they come here and they're just like, I never knew that this place existed, but the feeling is so welcoming. It's something, it's so beautiful, and it's something that should be shared to the world, but secretly, because they don't want it to be crowded.
We need to promote us, our people. We need to promote who we are, and who we are makes up the Marianas.
I hope that the people who are looking at the Marianas will see a destination that will give them a lot of peace and joy when they travel here.
I feel like the changes that we need to make to showcase the Marianas is dive into more of our culture, our people, show what it's like to have a day in the life experience of what it's like to be a resident or a visitor here in Marianas.
We need to create more opportunities for the visitors to get the authentic culture experience for both of our indigenous ocean peoples. And one great way is to get on board those sailing canoes, the traditional sailing canoes, learn about the art of navigation, and learn about getting along with each other. That's what enabled our people to survive for thousands of years.
We are a competitive island resort destination unlike any other. And I think that branding ought to reflect that. Our cuisine, our world-class hospitality, our world-class flora and fauna, our world-class diving and snorkeling, and our world-class hospitality. It must transcend our oceans and our air to capture that with the oomph that's needed. So when people see it, they call us world-class. Wow.
I agree with MVA to use this footage for promotional purposes.
So some very valuable local voices there. Our brand strategy process is based on forming a deep understanding of the destination, audience, and the wider cultural insights. So now let's hear from Chris Flynn explaining the wider context of cultural tourism.
Half a day and greetings from Sydney, Australia. I just want to say how genuinely excited I am that we're nearing the launch of the new Marianas brand. This launch gives you an unprecedented and unique opportunity to regenerate and rebuild your visitor economy, as it perfectly aligns with emerging industry developments and new traveller trends. Before I begin this presentation, I would like to share some numbers with you for you to consider as we move through. In 2024, the world produced 1.4 billion international tourist arrivals. 44% of those arrivals had a cultural component, which means that the world produced around 560 million cultural heritage travellers. They in turn generated around $720 billion in revenues. Now it's anticipated that by 2033, tourism will grow on average year on year by around 3.3%. Cultural heritage tourism, on the other hand, is scheduled to grow year on year by 14.4%. So as we look at the revenues generated in 2024, as I say, the world produced $720 billion. It's anticipated then by 2033, this will grow to around $2 trillion. What this tells us is that future travel demands and opportunities are changing. So we also have to change the way we do business. What we know is that it's anticipated international tourist arrivals will double within the next 20 years. How do we know this? Well, we know this by looking at aircraft orders from airline manufacturers. It's anticipated the world is going to need around 42,500 new aircraft over the next 20 years. The interesting thing here is that 3/4 of those are single-aisle aircraft, sub 200 seats, aircraft that are designed to fly point to point within a certain distance and a certain time ratio. So these next-gen aircraft and this new technology is opening up new routes. Previously off-the-radar destinations are now becoming commercially viable. And if we look at this map here, this shows the Airbus A320neo and the kind of route networks it's able to fly. It can go from London to Anchorage, down to Miami, to Nairobi in Kenya. So this is new opportunities for tourism to grow in a whole new way. And if we look at where these orders are going, Asia Pacific, around about 10,000 new aircraft. China, similar kind of number. Europe and North America, again, pretty high, 7,000 and 8,000. But there's a big difference here. In North America and Europe, there's a significant percentage of those aircraft that are replacement equipment. Whereas in China and Asia Pacific, the vast majority of these aircraft are brand new. And why? Well, it's because of this. It's because there's more people living within this circle than the entire population of the rest of the world. This provides unique opportunity. So what could this mean for CNMI? Well, if we look at this new aircraft and these aircraft deliveries, you can see here the airlines who are purchasing this equipment. They're not too far from where you are. This gives us a tremendous opportunity. And if you look at where we can fly to from Saipan, you can see here, this equipment, this new technology is allowing us to fly from Perth to Saipan and access all of these routes in the areas, in the new territories where we seek to build new partnerships. There's also an ongoing move away from the bling. Travellers are now seeking destinations with more sustainable travel options. In fact, the rise in Asian conscious traveller is quite interesting. When asked how important is sustainable tourism to you, destinations that already serve CNMI, South Korea, 90%. Japan, 95%. Philippines, Malaysia. As you can see, every destination that we could potentially gain access to is important to have a sustainable component. Many travellers are now willing to pay more for these options. In fact, on average in Asia Pacific, the number is 41%. People are paying 41% more for sustainable options that are on offer. So what we know then is traveller motivations are changing. Authenticity, exclusivity and sustainability are now key drivers for travellers. And what are they seeking? Well, they're seeking off-the-beaten-track destinations, soulful and culturally rich experiences, unique lifestyle, local history, heritage, customs and traditions, local foods and cuisines, the uniqueness of people and place, unspoiled environments and adventure. What they're seeking is this, everything that CNMI has to offer. What we need to do then is we need to build product and experiences that are going to drive this demand. So destinations that cater for these experiences are capitalizing on this growing trend. But to succeed, You must align your future tourism development plans and strategies with the brand and the changing traveller trends and motivations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So as we've seen from Chris, the global tourism landscape is changing towards travellers seeking more authentic experiences with cultural tourism. And cultural tourism is set to more than double in the next 10 years. This is a trend that the Marianas is exceptionally well positioned to capitalise on. So now let's hear how this fits with our audience and key market insights. A presentation from Carolyn Childs, the Tourism Director of SHP, and she was leading our research component.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Childs and I am the Tourism Director at SHP, and we are one of the partners on the development of this super exciting project, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the bit that I worked on, the research. When we looked at what this was there to do and why it was part of the project, what we saw were 4 key roles. We really wanted to identify the target customers that made best sense for you. We wanted to know where we were before we embarked on this journey so that we could see how far we've come and measure progress. We wanted this research to support the development of the branding, and we then wanted to go back and make sure that it actually delivered once it was developed. So really, it's probably the key thing to take out is that this is all underpinned by a very, very large amount of visitor and customer research. So we did a deep dive into your own data. We did 2 sets of work with customers in 6 of your key inbound markets. Firstly, to understand them and what would resonate with them, and then secondly, to make sure that what we did worked once we'd done it. So let's turn to the first of those areas, that understanding of the customer. So we went on a very, very extensive journey to understand this, diving deep into the data, trying lots of different segmentation models until we found the one that worked. And what we found did work was, rather than thinking about 2 or 3 segments, was to look at a larger group with a consistent theme around the idea of the experiences they sought. So seeking deeper, richer connections to their destinations through their emotion and experiences. And we found that, as you've heard from Chris, this area of the market is the fastest growing. 57% of the travellers in these 6 markets were people who wanted that experience. So basically the conclusion we came to is the best way to think about your customers is to target them via the experiences that they seek and to see them as an holistic whole within that cohort. Underneath that, we did a deep dive into what you have to offer and your strategy, and we identified 6 key buckets of consumers or experiences that they seek, and these are they. We then wanted to make sure that using some of the specific activities that sit underneath that there were enough of them to make it worthwhile. And if you look at the blue column on the right, you can see that we are literally saying that within your key markets, there are millions and millions of people who want to do any of these one experiences. Even the ones at the bottom, the niche ones, potentially reaching target audiences of more than 30 million people. We then wanted to see who are the people who sit under that experience to get a better understanding of them as people, so that drove talent selection and it will drive media buy. And then we wanted to know how we could cross-relate the experiences to give a more rounded perception of the Marianas to try and drive length of stay and return visitation. So that's where we got to. When we stacked that up against the work that was being done to develop the brand and had that conversation between them, how do we feel they align with the brand positioning you're going to see? We really see a very, very strong validation of what you're going to see and be using in the future. We know that we're talking about people who want unique experiences. We know that where this goes is that you need to stand out in a cluttered marketplace. So the design really had to be bold and exciting. And that's particularly important in terms of SEO, with the increasing number of people who plan travel through AI chatbots and to enable sharing. We also know that this is a very good approach to make your dollars go further and to deal with the current constraints you have, such as flights but also at the same time to position you for a future to come through to deal with this. Still a place for what you're doing that sits alongside this. So this is a brand that will play nicely. So as we said, we went back after we developed all the assets and we tested to see if it delivered on the promise of the concept and based on the research we've told. Did it do so? Absolutely it did. Across all of the measures in all of the markets, we saw uplift. We saw that we were telling travellers new news. We were intriguing them to find out a little bit more, and thus they also told us that the Marianas was a more appealing destination to them, and one that they were therefore more likely to consider visiting. So where do we go from here? Well, to me, the really exciting part of this, the real excitement, and now the real work begins. But by using this evidence-led and experience-led strategy, we have a framework for you to grow and develop and enrich your offer in the future in a way that we know is going to be successful in connecting with the customer. We know that the branding we're going to develop is one that will work with all of your existing work so that the alignment with it increases your visibility. But for me, the really exciting part of this is this branding, I think, is not just a destination. It's not just you as a holiday. It really encapsulates everything about you as a place. I believe this could be the next 100% pure New Zealand. And I think when you see it, and I so wish I could talk more about it, I wish I could be in the room with you when you see it, I really think it's something that the whole community can get behind, which will support community social license with what you're trying to do as an industry and be something that I can imagine all of the people of the Marianas really wanting to stand alongside and boast about. So thank you for letting me talk to you a little bit about how the research did this. Enjoy the rest of the day. Celebrate the exciting journey that you're going on. Thank you.
Thanks very much. So audience research confirms the global trends. Travellers are seeking authentic experiences with nature and culture across all your key markets. So now I'll hand it over to Phil, who will talk about how we use this to inform the new brand and the campaign.
Thank you, Alana. I love Caroline's excitement there for the work. Of course, you can actually see some of it here. So I'm going to just explain how these insights informed the eventual brand strategy. So we have a very simple framework, and essentially it's around looking at where the audience need is met by the brand truth. And within that, we find our core brand articulation, the sort of core idea for the brand, which we call the brand platform. So alongside all of that research you've just heard about, Alana and I spent 9 days here. We met quite a few of the people here. We went everywhere. We did some workshops. We got a really great in-depth understanding of the place, a really good feel. And the strong thing that comes out, the really clear thing, is that the truth of the Marianas is that there's a lot more than just blue waters. This is a really key part to how we've ended up with the brand positioning we have. The truth that really came out, and this is across Saipan, Tinian, Rota, it's not about one feature. It's actually about this extraordinary combination of things that are very unusual compared to a lot of other places. And that, of course, is the combination of culture, of history, landscape, ocean, and let's not forget that the way much of the world knows the Marianas is actually through one of the world's deepest mysteries lying just on the horizon, the Mariana Trench. And so we put all of these things together to find our kind of strategic spark, which is that it's this combination of experiences that makes the Marianas a long way from people's ordinary expectations and their ordinary lives. You can see where this is going. And of course that leads us to our brand platform. So if we go back to our framework, the audience need, summarised as we've just seen, is a place where they can have authentic experiences in nature and culture beyond the typical hotel and pool holiday. And the brand truth is that the Marianas is an extraordinarily diverse fusion of unique culture, history, and unspoiled nature. And so that's where we find our brand platform, the big organizing idea. I should say there should be a big reveal here, but it is somewhat revealed. So the brand platform idea is far from ordinary, which means that while there are places in the world that can offer some of what the Marianas offers, there's actually nowhere that can really offer the same extraordinary combination. And that's why we can say the Marianas is proudly far from ordinary. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. So what Far From Ordinary is a single-minded promise to inspire those who seek something beyond their lives and beyond their ordinary destinations that they know. And crucially, it's also to inspire the people of the Marianas to take pride in their extraordinary home and history. And it's far from an ordinary tagline. This is we call it a platform because it's something that can go much deeper than a tagline that goes at the end of an ad. The meaning of Far From Ordinary for the people of the Marianas, for example, is that it's a rallying cry to be proud of the Marianas' unique cultural diversity. For visitors, Far From Ordinary is an invitation to experience something very different to their ordinary lives and the destinations they visited in the past. For tourism now and in the future, Far From Ordinary sets a promise and an intention for what should be offered and promoted. And for commercial partners and businesses, Far From Ordinary encourages stakeholders to see beyond the usual in order to gain a far from ordinary return from a far from ordinary opportunity. So that outlines our brand position. And with that, with our brand platform articulated, the next step is to build the identity, the visual assets, the tone of voice and the campaign that comes out of this. And the identity came from combining elements of tradition and culture and place, but putting it together in a contemporary way that can represent the future and the sort of almost like the rebirth of the Marianas in a sense. So this is from, we've got some very extensive brand guidelines. This is one slide from the brand guidelines to show you the detail that goes into this. I would just want to point out a few things here. So the letter A's have the sail from the proa, so it's combining that cultural element. Of course, the central point of the brand is the latte stone, which is the kind of, what the brand is built around in terms of the cultural sense. And then underneath, the bumps are actually the 14 islands in the chain. And that all comes together in a kind of modern style that represents both the past and the future. That's been worked through a whole fully worked out identity. And one thing to note is the consistency that we now have. So the MVA logo is now in a family with the main Marianas logo. It should go without saying the consistency is one of the key parts of brand success. And then alongside that, we have this design system, which you can again see some of here. And this design system is built around these extraordinary combinations you can experience. It's deliberately about putting together two almost surprising things that actually look really beautiful together. We can see how that works in lots of different formats, including the ones you can see behind me right now. And in the guidelines, this works through, again, multiple different elements, like the pull-up banners, even things like the experiential stands for trade shows, etc. And they all really come together with this identity that holds everything together and produces something really quite wonderful. So we'll finally just look at some of the campaign execution. One other key thing about how we communicate the brand is thinking about how we use copy and headlines to add this far from ordinary element where possible. So, for example, this one, where typically a museum is on the street, for example. Here in the Marianas, it's underwater. History lessons might otherwise be somewhat dull, but here in the Marianas, they're far from ordinary, they're extraordinary. And even something that most travellers would be familiar in another sense, a swimming pool. here again is far from ordinary, the beautiful Rota hole there. So that, I hope, outlines how this brand has come about through the insights and the research and how that's led into our strategy. What we'll have a look at next, and Alana will take you through this, is first of all the way the brand reaches the world, the hero film, and just before that, a new mascot.
So our new mascot is inspired by this extraordinary creature. Does anybody know, has anyone seen one of these? So this is Mira, our new mascot, who is a Dumbo octopus. And Mira is a far from ordinary creature from the depths of the Mariana Trench, who represents the unusual and mysterious qualities of our islands, whilst also being very friendly and welcoming, of course, just like the Marianas people. Mira can appear on a range of merchandise, signage and branding, and she's also been acceptance tested for approval in all of the key markets. So you'll find Mira, we've got badges and caps in the brand bags to take home tonight. So the final part of how we bring this far from ordinary brand to the world is our hero brand campaign films. So this was shot over 10 days in Saipan, Rota and Tinian. And it was important to use all local talent to maintain authenticity. And the great thing we are revealing to the world here is hidden gems like Tonga Cave on Rota that await seekers of the far from ordinary. So now let's watch the hero brand film.
Far from the eyes of the world is a far from ordinary place. Yes, it looks like an ordinary tropical paradise. But under the water, there's a museum. And a giant tree holds up the sky above. The landscape is as dramatic as the history. And deep inside a mountain, there's a theater. Sailors used stars for maps, on canoes with wings. And ancient peoples made their mark. On the islands, they still call home today. And the world's deepest mystery lies just on the horizon. The Marianas, far from ordinary.
Has anyone seen the Marianas like that before? All right, now, so how can you get involved? This is the most important bit. One, you can use the brand assets. We've got a comprehensive brand guidelines that we've seen some of the pages of in Phil's presentation. So if you're producing any collateral, see these guidelines and you'll have the correct logos and co-branding guidelines in that book. Sorry. 2, use far from ordinary in text and conversation. Far from ordinary can build into valuable brand asset with consistency and repetitive exposure. For example, this event is set to be a far from ordinary experience, and that's why we say this place is far from ordinary. Also, use far from ordinary to guide tourism development. So when considering a new tourism product, consider how you can make it feel far from ordinary. Examples being to build themed offers, so far from ordinary dives, far from ordinary history tours, for example. Add brand moments to a tour or experience that are far from ordinary. Stories, use the unique history, the culture and the nature to shape the narrative. And commissions, say artists and traditional crafts, chefs and musicians to create far from ordinary works for pop-ups, for example. And most importantly, please share. So use the hashtags, tag at the Marianas on social media and spread the word. So I hope this presentation inspires everybody to embrace the powerful opportunity of this wonderful new brand. Everybody can be involved by using the brand assets and by using Far From Ordinary to help inspire and guide your tourism product development and experiences. So I truly believe that together we can make the Marianas the most far from ordinary place in the world. Now for rolling the credits of all the amazing people that were involved in making this a reality. There'll also be prizes for the top 3, so I hope you are following along with our brand presentation. Okay, so now if everyone can scan the QR code up in the right-hand corner. Just wait a few minutes until everyone can log on. I promise you.
And the prizes are good.
And the prizes are good to make us Marianas. The 14 turtle species found in Marianas, or the progress bar when waiting for the MVA website to load. Next question.
Alright, so what are the main symbols featured in the new Marianas logo? Banana painting, a rubber duck on Micro Beach, Proasail latte stone on 14 Islands, or a giant crab doing yoga.
Looks like everybody's getting these right, so it's going to come down to speed. So you've got to be quick. So the quickest person will win. Okay, next question. What colour takes centre stage in the new Marianas palette? Mildly distressed beige, deep blue, corporate grey but make it sad, or glow-in-the-dark lime?
Alright, so you should all be able to get this. What is the new Mariana's tagline? Sponsored by sunscreen, boundless by nature, unlimited snacks, or far from ordinary?
Next question. What does Far From Ordinary really mean for the Marianas? It's a rallying cry for the Marianas to be proud of what makes us unique. It's an invitation for visitors to experience something truly different. It's a promise for the future, encouraging experience-led tourism or all of the above.
So, which audience was especially targeted in the rebrand? High-value experience seekers, retired pirates, influencers who can't swim, and people who think the Marianas is a new kind of snack.
Okay, the next question is multi-select. So which of the following is no?
So the new experience-led strategy for the Marianas focuses on selling branded coconuts with QR codes, making sure the Wi-Fi works on every beach, creating unforgettable far from ordinary experiences for every visitor, or turning every meeting into a snorkeling session.
It's a close one. Next question. The new Mariana's brand film focuses on which central theme? The far from ordinary experiences found in the Marianas, how to fold a beach towel, the secrets that lie at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, or a documentary about lost sandals.
So the tone of the brand film can be best described as inspiring and unexpected, suspenseful horror, stand-up comedy, or 3-hour PowerPoint presentation.
Next question. The new brand positioning aims to win an Oscar for Best Branding Film, confuse the competition, finally make Mariana's blue trendy again, or strengthen local identity and global connection.
Right, so what type of character is the new mascot? A surfing panda, a turtle with glasses, the far from ordinary Dumbo octopus, or a talking wave named Wavy Davy?
Next question. What is the name of the new Mariana's mascot? Shelly McShellface, Mira, Captain Tentacles or Chad the Crab?
Right, and the mascot's personality can best be described as friendly and curious, slightly judgmental but still cute, deeply philosophical about seaweed, or the Beyonce of octopuses.
Okay, last question to get on the scoreboard, people. What does the new brand make you feel? Hungry for seafood? Inspired and connected? Confused but polite? Or ready to redecorate your living room with the deep blue banana print?
Questions? Go ahead. Over here, guys. Secretary Joe, photo op. Congratulations. One night at PIC plus breakfast for two. Wow.